all the keys, all the key material that's essential to authorizing Bitcoin transactions on the actual network, all held by Coinbase in their custody. And so when you're navigating through their app and trying to transfer Bitcoin out, that they get it inside their application, and then somehow their infrastructure has to work to authorize and sign a key for you. You can, with Bitcoin uniquely, self-custody it, right? So there's options to hold your own keys. That's advanced a lot in like the last decade plus, where from the very beginning, self-custody was an option for Bitcoin. But now we have things like hardware wallets, more consumer-friendly devices. You have apps on your phone that you can run that will hold a key on your phone. So really the idea is to take that key and move it as far away as possible from attack points.
You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
And welcome. You are listening to and watching the Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. Well, Bitcoin's been in the news. It's headed back up. We hold a small interest in it, and mainly to stay in the game, keep track of things. And security is a huge thing. Who do you trust? Who can you trust? And Joseph Kelly is with us now. Joseph, you are CEO and co-founder of Unchained. You've got over $6 billion in Bitcoin in custody. You do IRAs with Bitcoin, all these things. Hey, I wanted to ask you before we get into it, the way to do an IRA with Bitcoin, I guess it's similar to a gold IRA. You set up a checkbook LLC, which holds custody. It's a disregarded entity. It's owned by your self-directed IRA. Is that how that works?
That's been a common pattern. That's actually not necessary today. We partner with a bank that is technically the IRA custodian. The bank is Fortis out of Colorado. Of course. Yeah. Underneath Fortis, our clients can still hold their own keys. So uniquely with our IRA, you can still self-custody. We'll soon have options available too if you don't want to hold your own keys. But that was the common practice for how to go about holding Bitcoin was through that self-directed IRA route. But now there's some adoption at a few custodians that work, and other companies in the space like iTrust and others have used Fortis or may still. So that's made it easier.
All right. And interesting. So, my biggest concern trusting anybody, whether it's Coinbase, you name it, is how do I know we're not going to get hacked? How do I know it's not going to get stolen? Do you carry insurance? Who in their right mind would write an insurance policy for this? Probably AIG or Lloyd's of London, if I had to take a guess. Share with us how you protect your clients.
Yeah, so it's probably set up at this point a distinguishing principle operating for like an Unchained custody model versus a Coinbase. So Coinbase would be something like a centralized custodian that they hold the keys to the Bitcoin. So for the many billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin they secure today, all the keys, all the key material that's essential to authorizing Bitcoin transactions on the actual network, all held by Coinbase in their custody. And so when you're navigating through their app and trying to transfer Bitcoin out, that they get it inside their application, and then somehow their infrastructure has to work to authorize and sign a key for you. You can, with Bitcoin uniquely, self-custody it, right? So there's options to hold your own keys. That's advanced a lot in like the last decade plus, where from the very beginning, self-custody was an option for Bitcoin. But now we have things like hardware wallets, more consumer-friendly devices. You have apps on your phone that you can run that will hold a key on your phone. So really the idea is to take that key and move it as far away as possible from attack points by third-party hackers and infiltrators. So people like a phone is pretty good, or some secure enclaves on it. But if you did lose your phone or you had something else, like you can probably believe your key is lost at that point. So these hardware wallets are really good form factors for storing key, because you can also back them up in ways, and you can through multi-sig, which is how Unchained works. You really start to have more of a redundancy. You have multiple keys that you need to access in order to spend your Bitcoin. So for Unchained, simply, the vault that a typical client has with Unchained, it's a 2 or 3 multi-sig. They have 2 keys that they get to keep themselves. Maybe they put one in an office, one at their home. And then Unchained has a 3rd key. And so if they lost the key, they can come to Unchained and ask us to sign while they sign at one. But uniquely for Unchained, for that $6 billion worth of Bitcoin we help secure, we're not unilaterally in control of it. So it's really this kind of unique hybrid model that says you could hack everything at Unchained to the ground, and I can't move any of those clients' Bitcoin. No, I don't have sufficient keys. So it's really kind of a partnership. We call it a collaborative custody model with our clients, and that helps all of us be more secure together.
Okay. So, when you're looking at all this stuff, one thing I saw was this SIM swapping, and it's a way that hackers, they go to the Verizon store, the T-Mobile, and they say, I lost my phone. What can I do? And they show some fake ID, and they get you. They actually get a new phone with all of your credentials on it, and then they go through your wallets and they grab the money. And I saw that that Coinbase recently, I changed phones, I upgraded. Man, I'm still cursing it. I'm still cursing it, but hey, it's part of life. One of the biggest things in computers, no upgrade shall go unpunished, right? And it's kind of funny, but basically, it's not funny because the people, I knew somebody actually had a friend who lost $19,000 from her wallet and was suing T-Mobile and the holder of of her crypto account. So it's really not funny at all.
That's serious. Yeah, SIM swapping. The vector there I'm most familiar with is when you have set up a 2-factor authentication with a Coinbase or someone else that goes to SMS, it goes through text messages. That's a common practice still with other financial institutions as well. And so when someone is able to port your phone number onto a different device that they control, and then they receive text messages on behalf of you, they can circumvent your pre-existing passwords or logins at these websites. So it's really a practice. Like we don't support any SMS authentication mechanisms at Unchained. We do have a 2FA, but it uses the Authenticator app. There's Google Authenticator. There's others. That's more we're usually scanning a QR code, and so it runs as an app on your phone, which is way less susceptible or not likely to then be ordered or copied over to another phone unless you're.
Right. Okay, so you've bypassed that because it seems like that's a really hard way to do it. But then again, I think the carriers are also having liability for this, so they've tightened up the ability for someone to walk in, right?
Yeah, and that's been. I think I would say Michael Turpin is at a big public lawsuit with T-Mobile or one of the main major characters. He was an investor that lost a lot to this. So yeah, SIM swapping's been majorly on the rise over the last few years, and these days a lot more of the things we see are matters with phishing and spear phishing, people impersonating a Coinbase or impersonating an Unchained and reaching out to people and creating fear and urgency around, hey, your Coinbase account is hacked. Work with me to log in with you, and I'll help you move your funds. That kind of a pattern is something people really need to be watching out for. That really no really good legitimate financial institution is likely to be calling you with any kind of urgent instructions or security issues. Let alone like Google and others of the world. But that's the current generation of heightened attack vector that we see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's. That is the 800-pound gorilla. That's the first thing I'm sure any new client asks you, right?
It's about security. Yeah, it's essential to our value proposition.
Yeah, because if you can't do that, so hey, tell us if I wanted to set up a self-directed IRA with you, how would I do it?
So we've done a lot of work to make this onboarding very streamlined. So we've had this product live for 2 years. It was we really inherited. We'd acquired a gentleman's small business that had done this for many others, and so we've integrated that into our platform. And basically, go to unchained.com/IRA. I want to believe, and there's a sign up button right there. You can work through the flow to sign up for an account. We're down to where, within a day or two, we just have to submit some of that information to our banking partner at Fortis. And then depending on where the person's at and how comfortable they are setting up the vault themselves with their own 2 keys, or if they'd like us to guide them, that we can do that. That takes a few days if we're helping out with that. And then, right now we've changed our pricing. So the first year is free. There are some trading fees for when people purchase Bitcoin with us. And then there's $250 of annual fees starting in the second year. It's pretty streamlined. By now, 30-40% of our thousands of clients have an IRA with us as well.
All right. Hey, so we want to find out more about you, connect with you, set up an account. How do you do that?
Unchained.com is the principal URL. A lot of ways to navigate from there. A lot of our specialty is in helping people with education. We consider our role here as really as navigators. I think Bitcoin can be a personal journey. It's both an investment, but for a lot of people, it's also a new way of maybe looking at the world, looking at money. And so we have a lot of experts here that are able to help people walk them through security solutions for self-custody, answer questions about IRAs. We also have a registered investment advisor affiliate. So actually a wholly owned subsidiary that does financial planning and advice for people that want to, answer questions about, for instance, how to balance their traditional portfolio versus Bitcoin as either grows or changes over time in their portfolio's makeup. So we really try to be a comprehensive Bitcoin financial services solution for the long-term holder.
All right. Hey, well, we just appreciate you coming on, sharing with us all these new developments, a lot of which none of you out there knew about. I didn't know about it. And if you got a question for Joseph or myself, shoot me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. And you'll find a link in the show notes to the site. And while you're there, please just sign up for a free newsletter. Got a lot of great info in it, and shooting one off tomorrow. In fact, Joseph, been a pleasure. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you again for sure.
Thank you, Kerry.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.